Okay. All right, so where do I go back one? Yeah, I've done that. 1 second, technicals. Ah, well done, Laura. She's my technical. Sorry about that. I went one forward. Okay, we'll get welcome, Marwan. I see you've just joined.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's Dubai?
Dubai, yeah.
All good in Dubai?
All good, yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm. If you want to mute or you want to turn your video off, I'll get started. If you want to ask any questions on the way, please do. But I've left a space for a question and answer session at the end as well. So anything that anybody wants, we can send the presentation and a video of this sort of recording of this bit following this anyway. So if you miss anything, don't worry. I'll try and keep it to 30 minutes so it doesn't become too long. So this is just a welcome from us. This presentation will have a little bit about luxury in the sun and why we love North Cyprus. One developer presentation, which is Cyprus Construction, which has prices from 39,000 up to 600 and something. So they have a good spread across 4 different developments. Some explanation and some examples of investments and payment plans. A little bit about the buying process for those that haven't experienced it before, and then sort of after sales additional services like rentals and things like that. And in terms of coming to take a look, we offer free inspection trips. I'll just explain that. And then question and answers at the end. I've just had Annalena joining us as well. Welcome, Annalena. Are you there, Annalena? Can you hear us, Annalena? No, are you there, Annalena? Right, I'll continue. Hopefully, Annalena, you'll be able to hear us now. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good, good. Okay. So, Luxury in the Sun, who are we? Some of you will be aware and know already, but for those that don't, Yannicka and I met in Cyprus and purchased, I purchased 15 years ago and met Yannicka here. So our love of North Cyprus, which hopefully some of you will be sharing in the future, we decided that we would promote the island with regards to its properties to share the same lifestyle that we do. And just a little bit about why we are different is a lot of agencies obviously just do viewings and a sale, but we kind of like to do it a little bit on a personal basis where our inspection trips are a little bit about spending a few days with you and not just the one-off viewings, because we like to show you the places where we fell for North Cyprus and get you a feel for what locations you might want to consider buying in, and obviously a selection of properties based on your criteria. We also insist on the use of a lawyer for peace of mind. Even if you don't intend to purchase at that moment, we offer a 1-hour consultation with the lawyer as part of our trip, which you can ask any questions that come up either before, during or after. If you decide to purchase, obviously you can then choose one of those independent lawyers as a power of attorney to represent you in country or when you return home. We also, because of 15 years, we collaborate with many of the other agents as well as all the developers. So if you're looking online and see some properties, you can send them to us and we will research those and add them into your viewings, so you don't have to spend time with several different agents chasing around. And that means obviously it's a lot less stressful for you, and we can combine everything together. As long as you can put up with us, we like to do a bit of social with you while you're here to show you the harbour and some of the nice places to be. Obviously take in some of the sporting things if you're interested in that, the hotels and the spas and everything. But more importantly, we stay with you through the whole process, and even after that, if you wish to rent or look at investment process or whatever, we'll obviously stick with you through that. And Laura, who's sitting with me, she also does the management, looks after the rentals and also cleaning and laundry and all the little maintenance bits and pieces that you might experience during your ownership. And then we come on to, after a little bit about us, this is Cyprus Construction, who is the developer for today. Established 25 years, they've actually completed over 14 projects. And they are also very strong in North Cyprus with regards to the developer is a major food supplier to the island, has restaurants, and is very financially strong. So in terms of his mix of product and his quality, he's very, very reliable. And for those of you who don't know, North Cyprus is actually split south and north, and the reason the north is much more cost effective in terms of property is it's still in the Turkish lira, which is currently more than 10 per GBP, which means the properties, although the properties are priced in sterling, they are roughly 50% of the price that they are in the south being in the EU and in the euro. So that enables the property to be so much cheaper, but also the cost of living, the cost of running things, and obviously you get the same 300 plus days of sun. And it's an up and coming area with major hotels, supermarkets and major brands starting to enter North Cyprus. So it's a good time to get in now to get your capital growth. Airports wise, you are closest to Ercan, which flies via Istanbul currently, but hopefully in the future may have direct flights. Or Larnaca, which goes from pretty much anywhere, which is about an hour, 20 minutes away, roughly. But you are very well located along the north coast for many things. And this developer currently has 4 along the north coast, which is all backdropped to the Mediterranean with the Kyrenia mountain range, which gives it stunning scenery, 360 degrees. You have Maldives Homes, which we'll come on to first, which is just finishing its 2nd stage. Was a dream of the developer 2 years ago, and is now, even with COVID, is now virtually completed and sold out. So that's following Mykonos Homes, which are next door to each other, and then Pearl Island and Idil, 10 minutes along the coast. But as you can see from the drone shot, it's still an area that's got vast amounts of green vegetation, and also areas which can be developed. The positive to that is that they can't develop more than 2 floors high in this location and within 100 meters of the sea coastline. So Maldives Homes. This is actually a dream that the developer came up with, and this is a prime example of a Maldives idea that he came up with at the time, and most of the developers on the island thought it would never come to fruition. So this is actually a physical picture, and for those of you who have been there, obviously, and bought there even, you would be able to back up that this is phase 1. And I think I can honestly say that whatever he suggested in his 3D pictures and his dreams is now a reality. And this kind of lifestyle has changed the way people look about the North Coast, because obviously it's brought something a little different to the standard villas and apartments. This is 5 2-bedroom villas on a lagoon pool, of which there's 2 of these left. There's also 1 3-bedroom left with a private pool as well. Just to give you an example of the pricing, the 2-bedroom villa, which was for sale off plan at 225 in 2018, is now selling for 394. So you can see the capital growth from start to finish. Also, the 3 beds that are available were selling for 325, and the last one left is selling at currently at 649. Although those are fully furnished with furnishings that you can see here in these pictures. The internal furnishings, you can choose everything from furniture packs, but also you can use, Sally, the developer's wife, actually does some nice furniture design and internal designs, much like this one, using antique designs and old Cypriot furniture styles, or you can go for the whole modern scenario, using the best quality fixtures and fittings. This is phase 1, and for Kevin listening, you can see your apartment here.
There she is.
The gardens are really taking shape now. There was people in the pool there this week, so we had 27, 28 degrees today, so it's still warm. And you can see, obviously, the pool and the gardens are all pretty much now maturing in phase one, with the beach and that completing, and you'll follow on from shortly. You'll see a picture of phase two completing too. Just an example of two resales to give you an idea of the capital growth. The 3-bedroom penthouse that's now a resale that someone did for an investment. They bought in April 18 at 220, and it's now on the market for 325, almost. And a 2-bedroom garden apartment that was purchased 140 is up for 195. So in terms of capital appreciation over less than 3 years, you can see that getting in on the off-plan side of it obviously is where you get your capital increase, which may not matter if you don't intend to sell it, but if you intend to maybe move on and buy something bigger in the future, obviously you will be able to sell at a nice return on investment. In terms of the beach, sorry, did someone say something? Was there a question there? I didn't hear that. No? Okay, in terms of the beach, you've got a private beach less than 50 meters away, which is still finalizing currently, but we'll have a silent cinema and a jetty to jet ski and water sports and everything from. This is actually although it's a beach that's part of the development, all of the coastline of North Cyprus is actually private, so, government land. So obviously you can't make it a private beach, but it will be exclusive for the owners there, but public can still use it. And you can see from this picture, although this is the 3D before completion, the wooden deck that will be there for boats and jet skis, etc. Direct access from the development, and obviously people can enter from the road as well. But it's a very close lagoon beach, which means you don't get a lot of wave active or anything like that. This is the one I spoke about that shows looking from phase one across. You can see, and with the red parasols, is the Californian restaurant, which is the on-site restaurant similar to TGI Fridays. Very good selection of food, very good prices, and they have selective events there, live music and things throughout the summer. And in the background beyond that, phase two, which is nearing completion now, gardens all planted. So there's only 2 apartments and 3 villas left in this development, which is why they've now moved on to Mykonos. Amenities wise, whether you buy in any of these 4 developments, you will get a VIP card to use any of these facilities. Maldives and Mykonos are walking distance, obviously, to all of these, so they're on site. But if you're in Idil or Pearl, you will get a VIP card and a transfer bus to take you to these because they're 10 minutes away. But on site, you've got indoor and outdoor pools, gym, all the ones you can see on here, ATV rides, mountain bikes, the full set really to keep you active. So you wouldn't need a hire car if you wanted to stay put, but a hire car is a good example if you want to get traveling around the island or go into the center of Kyrenia, etc. So that was Maldives, which has been such a success. It's sold out so quickly, a few pieces left. We now move on to Mykonos, which is in the land right next door. This is looking from the sea back towards the lagoon beach. So it shows you there's a rugged coastline, and the rocks you can see in front of you here are actually very deep turquoise rock pools that you can do scuba diving and snorkeling, etc. on, walk with dogs along, or take a walk along the coast road. And to the left, underneath the Mykonos logo, you can see the lagoon beach, which is actually almost closed off, so you don't get any rough seas or anything, and it's actually quite enclosed, which is directly beneath the Maldives itself. This is a typical Mykonos penthouse apartment. The idea of Mykonos was a brainchild of the developer between Santorini in Greece and the Koko Tago Hotel, which included jacuzzis and swimming pools with an option on every apartment. So this would be a penthouse apartment style with an individual pool. Obviously choices of 1, 2 and 3 bedroom. So looking from above, there are some that you can choose that don't have a jacuzzi or a pool, but predominantly they all have a pool or a jacuzzi option. And in front there are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 villas, of which 5 are on a a lagoon pool, and 3 have their own private pools, all facing the sea. And the way the land is cascaded, it's so everybody has a view across, so the villas aren't blocking the view from the apartments, and the apartments on the 3rd row, doesn't matter whether you're front line or 3rd row, you will still have a Mediterranean view, and of course the mountain view from behind. Just a few examples of the 3Ds. This is currently off plan. They've cleared the land ready to start building early next year with 24 months to build. And as you can see from the bottom left hand, even if you're in the back row apartments, you're still getting a sea view. And obviously all the penthouses have large terraces and roof terraces for views in both directions. The villa's a little bit more detached, and you can choose a completely detached villa, or you can choose one that's on a lagoon, huge. I can't remember what the square meters of the pool, but it's huge. I want to say 700.
Mark, can I say something?
Yes, please, Eric, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing that's important to remember with this developer is that if you buy off plan from Cyprus Construction, the owner will offer you a free stay in Maldives, for instance, as long as your apartments are being built. So you can actually stay there as long as you want, for how many days you want each time, for free.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So you can follow the construction of your apartment and take ownership to it already from the get-go.
I can vouch for that because I did that.
Yes, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Because if you're buying off plan or under construction, you may be thinking it's like 18 months away before you take over. But actually, what they do with Cyprus Construction is enable you to still enjoy the 18 months. If you want to come a couple of times, 4 times in a year or so, they will still give you an apartment or a villa to share the experience whilst you choose all the customization of your own and watch it being built. So not everybody does that, but they assume that you want to spend the time there whilst it's being built.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So a few additional pictures here with the communal pool. One of the biggest things of North Cyprus, particularly on the north coast, is the sunsets. I would think any of us that have been there probably continually take pictures of the sunsets because it's so amazing. And actually the Maldives and Mykonos look straight onto the sunset, so you will get those every evening. Basically, you can see the level of ground here, which gives you the views out to the Mediterranean. And all these are 3Ds, and I can vouch for the 3Ds based on the Maldives. The actual real life are way better than the actual 3Ds from the Maldives. So I have no doubt Mykonos will be the same. You can see in this one the jacuzzi option here if you decide to go with a penthouse with jacuzzi, or you can go with the penthouse with the pool, like so. And that would be your individual view if you're taking a penthouse with a swimming pool or a jacuzzi. Internally, similar sort of style, but you pretty much can customize it to whatever you choose in terms of the space. And again, Kevin could vouch for this because you've done all of that, haven't you, Kevin?
I did indeed, yep.
You can choose different stoneware, different marble tiling, all the furniture, all the colours. And they will take you through the whole furniture pack advice. Unless you wish to choose and go via the shops individually, of course you can do that. But if not, they will assist you on your visits to North Cyprus anyway.
We will also assist customers with furniture. We will bring them to the furniture shops and help them along the way. That's also one of our services.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, Laura sitting with me as well has done that on many of occasions, from bath tiles to rugs and pictures and everything. So if one of us isn't here, Laura's here full time anyway. So we always collate those for people's visits after purchase to, that's probably one of the experiences that we have when you go into a foreign country. If you want to get, for example, there's a letter you get signed by the village mukhtar or the village chief as such to open a bank account. In reality, nobody would know how that happens unless you knew someone that did, and that's one of the things we help you with. And obviously, if you want to find a specific gazebo or curtain fabric, then obviously we would help you find to look for those sort of things.
Nice thing
So
as well, Mark, on a quick note, the furniture there is all pretty much handmade as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So it literally is all custom. You can literally customize sizes, everything. It's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can go to the furniture stores and obviously buy some standard stuff, but most is actually handmade to your requirement based upon selections. These are just a few samples of 3Ds and also some of the finalised ones in the Maldives. This just one of the things I forgot to say actually is where possible, because of the views to the mountains and the sea, the windows are predominantly going to be floor to ceiling or gallery windows to ensure you get the best view in both directions. Obviously, privacy wise, you can blinds and curtains, etc. But if you've got a pool or a jacuzzi and a mountain and sea view, why not enjoy it effectively? Which these pictures of the roof terrace obviously show you can adapt and add a gazebo, you can add a bar kitchen, and obviously you want to enjoy the sun, but you also need the shade at the same time. But if I could mention Kevin and Eric again, your roof terraces obviously look straight out to sea. I know you haven't finished them all off yet, but this is the views you have.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can do many things. You can see from the style of the buildings as well, where the Santorini idea comes in, is because instead of the squared off walls, they're a little bit more rounded, a little bit softened on the edges. So another sunset. This is the overall site plan, starting from the left-hand side, which is the back end of the development, down to the villas, which is facing towards the sea on the right-hand side. So just to give you an idea of prices, obviously all this we can forward on in more detail afterwards. But starting with a one-bedroom penthouse apartment with a private pool, just under 170. A two-bedroom, there are options with pool or jacuzzi or without. So two-bedroom from 140, three-bedroom apartments from 185, and three-bedroom villas starting price 490. There is a rental guarantee available of 10,000 per annum from the point you take key handover. And what does that mean? Basically, if you decided to buy it outright or on payment plan, during the construction process, you would continue to pay your monthly payment. But from the point of key handover, if you decided to go for rental guarantee, they would be paying you £10,000 a year guaranteed, which you could put against the remaining balance of your purchase. What that means is they give you 4 weeks a year, 2 in the summer, 2 in the winter, for your own use. And then the balance of it, obviously, they're paying you 10,000 to allow them to rent it out, because obviously it's in their interest that they've got to make up the 10,000 they're giving you. So that becomes a choice as to whether it's personal or whether you want to rent it as an investment and still have a holiday home at the same time, which you'll still get your capital growth, but you'll also be able to pay off your payment plan with the 10K guarantee. Does everybody understand that process? I know it's not necessarily a thing everybody understands, but it basically means you'll get 10,000 a year from the point you take your keys. Everybody okay with that?
All good.
Yeah, good, okay. Okay, now we go on to development 3. This is slightly different. This is, I would say, the entry point pricing and investment pricing. This is Pearl Island, which is 10 minutes away from Mykonos and Maldives. Slightly more in terms of the build area in this location, and the reason for that is that there is a plan just in front of this development, which you can see in the middle of the screen, to build a massive new marina. So this area obviously is developed because of that process about to start. Now Pearl, they're all studio apartments, one-bed studio apartments, all 35 square meters, garden and penthouse. There's 156 units here with communal pool. But if you follow this straight down past the Shell swimming pool, it will take you to the beach, where the beach will be the new marina, which picture will come up shortly. There is also, because of the developers' involvement with restaurants, the Californian Cafe is going to be on site, and it's going to have a choice of 7 different cuisines, which would be TGI, obviously Californian style, Chinese, Indian, seafood. I can't remember all the 7, but they've selected 7 different options that you will be able to get in a food court style. Hang on, I'm just going to upgrade there. And obviously you can buy and take to your apartment or eat on site. Also, you'll be able to get a transfer from here to all the activities that are on the Maldives and Mykonos site, like the gym and everything else. Internally, obviously, your 35 square meter is your living area, so obviously choice of furniture and everything is obviously selective to either personal use or to rental. But these are entry prices of $39,990 and $49,990 for the penthouse version, but they are studio. This is the marina I mentioned, which is just across the road from the development, and there is no immediate start date, but the plans are in, and as you can see, there is a hotel, there is a rather large marina. The bottom right-hand picture is actually a picture of Carpaz Gate Marina, which is one a little further up the coast. Just gives you an idea of what the plan will look like, similar opposite where this Pearl Island will be. So from a rental perspective, this will obviously assist because it will have all the amenities of a 5-star hotel and also a beach with a sports club and restaurants and bars, etc. Okay, just a quick figures to give you an idea. Studio apartments, 35 square metres, I've mentioned. 2 entry prices. These are off plan, so they are 24, possibly a little bit more than 24 months away. They've cleared the land ready to start, but they're not planned to start until next year. So obviously it's a good time to get in on the prices. One option which a few people have done because of the pricing is you can do an investment combination where you could get 2 studios, either one below and one above, or one side by side for between 80 and 100,000. Which would obviously give you an opportunity to rent 2 different separate studios or join them together with an adjoining door. So you've got 2-bedroom rental for your own use or for rental itself. The rental guarantee on here is 15% on key handover. So actually, if you, for example, at a penthouse, you would be getting 7,500 a year return and 6,000 on the garden for the first 24 months, renewable after that. So again, although you'd be paying during the construction period, your rental would then pay the balance of, because this can go up to 5 years interest free. So in the first 2 years, if you paid your payments, the balancing 3 years, you could actually pay with your rental guarantee. In 5 years, it would be totally paid up. More of this information we can supply separately, of course. And lastly, we go on to Idil, which is a mid-range price. It's again 10 minutes from the Maldives and Mykonos, very close to Pearl. It's a smaller development and it's opposite Esentepe Beach, sandy Esentepe Beach. The development, you can see the grey road that goes down to the beach. That's actually the road access to the beach, with a supermarket and a Chinese restaurant on the right side, a yappy market or a DIY market as we know it as, and a pharmacy on the left side. So a smaller development, but a few minutes walk down to a sandy beach. This is your site plan with the communal pool. The other amenities, again, you get the transfer bus to all the other amenities on Maldives and Mykonos with a VIP card that you get as being part of the Cyprus construction family. Again, they are 2 floors as per the regulations in the Esentepe area, garden and penthouse, both of which have roof terrace because you share a roof terrace. So the garden apartment also has a roof terrace to enjoy as well. So it's like a gallery design, obviously downstairs living area and then stairs up to the bedroom area, be it 1 or 2 bedroom, but they are open so you can take in the views out to the sea with floor to ceiling windows as per this picture. You can, if you want a little bit more privacy or quiet, you can actually seal this off, so it's not open if you don't want to be disturbed by people still up watching TV or whatever later in the evening. So again, furnishings again, total your choice and customization. This is the walk. This is the Asantemi beach just down from the development. Sandy beach with a restaurant and a very trendy rustic beach bar, which also has water sports and everything from here. They held a volleyball tournament here last week. There are also some chalet bungalows at a ridiculous 300 TL a night, £30 a night for 5 people. Obviously, if you've got an apartment over the road, you wouldn't need it, but if family came to stay, it's right on the beach. So this is all in walking distance, kayaking, scuba diving, everything goes on from here as well. And this is a recent picture of the construction process of Idil. In fact, since this was taken, it's moved on significantly since then, with a plan to finish it in April next year in its total entirety. So obviously, quite a few of these are sold. To give you an idea, slightly different pricing, obviously from Pearl, in between the Maldives and the Mykonos pricing. 2-bedroom penthouse apartment, there's 5 remaining at 120. The garden apartments, strangely, reverse of normal, the garden apartments are all sold out, whereas it's normally the penthouses that sell first. Again, to give you the capital growth, the penthouse launch prices were just under 80,000 and are now already selling before completion at 120. So obviously the capital increase during construction is quite considerable. And sorry, my mistake, project completion is July 21, not April. This slide covers everything. I didn't include it on every one because they offer the services on all of the sites. The difference being is Maldives Mykonos has all of the gardens and all the amenities and the spa and the sauna and all the things that need maintenance. So on the Maldives and Mykonos, it's £120 a month for all those services, whereas on Pearl and Idil, it's only £60 a month, but you still have access via transfer to those facilities. Obviously, you've got CCTV, 24/7 management service. Obviously, there's a restaurant on site on Maldives Mykonos as well. So that's part of your contract, would be the maintenance services to keep it up and running. And in terms of payment plans, we've got a couple that are exclusive to us at Luxury in the Sun currently. A little bit of a COVID offer, really, because obviously there's restrictions on travel and things at the moment. Option 1, if you reserve, you can reserve for as little as £1,000 remotely, which will hold you a property until you can visit, so it'll reserve it. Or if you come and visit, it's the standard £2,000 reservation, while you then wait for the contracts to be signed and brought together, and then there's a 35% payment. Over the next 2 to 3 years for the construction period, you pay the 30% interest free. And at handover, you then have 35% left to pay, which they will also then give you a further 2 to 3 years interest free. So effectively, you're getting an option of 5 years interest free payment, which you could reserve for as little as £1,000. Option 2, if you are able to pay a 50% down payment, they will give you the 50% balance in a mortgage over 10 years with the current interest at 7%, which is between the developer and the bank, which is considerably more than interest rates in the UK at the moment, but that's just the standard interest rates in North Cyprus. But it's a second option anyway if you wanted to spread it slightly more. Okay. So what attracts people to North Cyprus, for those that you don't know? We have a lovely Byzantine harbour, which is steeped in history, obviously backed by the mountains. We have a donkey sanctuary and some lovely golden beaches on the Carpaths, and lots of historical areas to explore, whether you like hiking or mountain biking, etc. 3 castles along the tip of the mountains that used to be protection for the island. You can climb these and experience these, and there's also a path which I believe is 30 kilometres that runs right the way along the mountain range between the 3 castles, because they do a 3 castle walk once a year. Turtles, releasing the turtles is one of the positive things that happens in North Cyprus, because they are protected here. Should you purchase and you wish to go bigger or move on in the future, Luxury in the Sun will obviously look to help you resell. And then why North Cyprus in itself? We are the 5th safest country in the world, and we have such a wide variety of culture and history. Much too much to put on here, but really worth checking and looking into, lots to read up on. The North Coast in particular has such a picturesque landscape. You would be unlucky to have a property that didn't have sea and mountain views, much easier than you would find in Spain when you're trying to find a sea view. You will find most properties have both. I've mentioned 300 days of sun, the calm, laid-back Mediterranean lifestyle. At the moment, we are now topping 11 Turkish lira to the pound. So the cost of living here, if you're living in any other currency other than Turkish lira, is just amazing here at the moment for bringing your own currency in to live on. You can put your money into a bank with investment interest up to 18% in Turkish lira. And we've mentioned 10% up to 15% on the capital increase on your property, which you can cost with some significant rental income. And some developers are offering up to 15% rental guarantee as well, so you can help that pay off your apartment after the key handover. And of course, we are about 50%. Okay, sorry. Yes, so this is a 65,000 two-bedroom apartment with a 25% down payment. And 60 months interest-free, which actually, if you include your monthly payments less your rental income with a shortfall of 412, over 5 years you would pay this off as well as gain a capital increase of 30%. This is actually a development on the west side of North Cyprus, on the side of Kyrenia. So let's go to the next one. If it will let me. Right. Studio Apartments Pearl. I've talked a little bit about these. This is the purchase price of 39,950. The left side one basically explains a 5-year interest-free, which obviously would enable you to pay off the investment over the period once you've gone from payment plan to key handover. And on the right side, a slightly different version of that, based upon the fact you can use your 15% rental guarantee, which on this particular apartment is £6,000 per year, set at 24 months to start with an extension after that. So this just gives you a rough idea of the figures that could be achieved on payment plans. And then lastly, just to do one villa example, this is a new detached villa for semi-detached villa for 180,000 on the Esentepe coastline on a cliffside development. 30% down payment, which is standard. They're offering 50 months interest-free payment plan on the balance. So your monthly payment would be 2,520 to complete in mid 2023. The annual returns are between 20 and 25,000 on your rental. So with a 24 weeks occupation, it's a good return. And actually the hotel style resort will have all the amenities and access to a huge beach development as well. So for a semi-detached villa on a new project is actually really good pricing. So what happens when we find the property that you want? Some of you know this already, but in terms of the buying process, once you've made the offer and accepted, there's a deposit to be paid to reserve it. We take you to the lawyer independently, so you can discuss power of attorney and any of the issues or questions you may have. Hopefully, if you take on those services, they will make your draft contract, and then it will follow through to the signing and the 30% payment, and he will then do the rest of the work on the land registry, etc. Your permission to purchase as a non-citizen, everybody has to have it. It's like your legal check to check your criminal side of things or lack of criminal side of things, just to ensure that North Cyprus doesn't have any unwanted people. This normally typically takes 9 months, which doesn't stop your payment process, your purchase process in terms of your purchase of the property. You continue with your payment plans, and then your permission to purchase should be received in 6 to 9 months, which will enable the title process and everything to continue. Finally, additional costs, legal fees up to 1,900. On top of that, being a new process, the new purchase is 0.5% stamp duty, 5% VAT on all new business transactions, and a title transfer, which if you're buying for the first time is reduced to 3%. So if you allow 8.5% on your purchase price, plus your lawyer's fee. That should cover the additional expenses. Only on top of that is water connection fee and an electric infrastructure, which all developers charge, and it depends on the number of properties on the particular site. And then lastly, obviously, your annual running costs monthly of council tax, electric for the pool, and AC and maintenance costs. Just on council tax at 1.5 TL per square metre, 15 pence per square metre per year, it's 60, 70 pounds a year. So compared to what many of us are paying, it's laughable really. So very low costs. And then on top of that, additional services, whether you use the developer or whether you use our services with Laura, or you decide to do it yourself on Airbnb or booking.com, etc. We can offer all these as a backup assistance, including the last one you'll see on there is residency permit assistance, which we've just completed ours. It can be done predominantly online, but you do need someone here just to collate the paperwork and follow through on some of the meetings. But it's a minimal cost, and it means you don't have to worry about your 30-day and 90-day access. So inspection trips, 4 nights, can be more if an additional cost if you want to enjoy a holiday. This would include us transferring you from the airport and around the properties, some of the local scenery, and also 1 hour legal consultation free. Hopefully this will tally up with you finding something that suits your budget and your location. So that concludes, sorry I run the time, or the connection went off, but that concludes everything in terms of the presentation. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take them.